My name is Reegan Lueken, and this was back in 2008, so I was 27 years old. I had just delivered my second daughter, Reegan, and I started noticing some weird things going on with my body that wasn't normal. I felt like this pressure in my chest, but I thought it was like after breastfeeding Reegan, and so I thought maybe I was suffering like postpartum, something related to that, even though I've never had those types of feelings before. So things were just feeling off, and like when I would go up the stairs, I felt a little winded, but nothing that like made me feel like I needed to go see a doctor. And so on the day of my incident, I had actually went and saw a chiropractor. I was shopping, buying some stuff for the house. My mom was at the house, and I was expecting some friends to come over and see me and Reegan, and everything was fine. I took a nap that day. I was feeling great, and I remember sitting on the living room floor, and Reegan was on the floor next to us, and my two friends were there, and I went over to grab a gift from them, and I started feeling out of it, and I just fell over. And I remember coming to, and I remember my lip hurt really bad. And I had some pain. And my mom and my friends were very concerned. And so they called 911. They didn't know what was going on, so they decided to take me to the hospital. And they ran some tests and thought maybe it was internal bleeding from just having a baby 6 days ago. But ultimately that came back negative, so they decided to do a CT scan, and that's when they saw that I was suffering from an ascending aortic dissection and aneurysm altogether.
I remember being in the emergency room at St. Luke's, and she's lying on the table, and all the doctors and nurses were discussing and asking me questions. What meds is she on? She had just had a baby, of course, 6 days before. And so did she have any complications that I knew about? Anything going on at home that, anything peculiar that, she mentioned, anything strange from after the birth, from the baby being home? And, of course I was in a daze, and just the rush of it all, the busyness of it all was something that, you never forget from that day.
And, I was really confused because even through my pregnancy, I gained a very healthy amount of weight. I ate healthy, exercised, did all those things that as a mother you're supposed to do. And so it was very confusing to all of us, and shocking actually, of why is this happening to Maria?
After the open heart surgery, of course, there was relief that she came through it. I mean, to be able to go see her that first time, she was in the ICU, but to get beyond that initial emergency room surgery, to have the doctor come out and say things went well, she's in the ICU, you'll see her in a certain period of time, getting beyond that was humongous and a huge relief. And then, of course, getting to see her in the ICU and say hi to her was another just wave of relief in getting through that there.
One of my most memorable moments and kind of started that today as a gift concept is the first time I got home from the hospital. I couldn't even lift Reegan because I had weight restrictions. So there's a picture of us, and I'm sitting in this picture is like tells 1,000 words, because I'm sitting in this chair in our kitchen, and I have this boppy pillow on me, and there's like blood pressure monitors in the background, and I have this really sweet Walmart button-up shirt on because I can't like lift shirts over my head. And Reegan was hungry, and so my mom asked if I wanted to feed her, and she's just bawling, screaming. And so my mom sets Reegan on the boppy pillow, and all of a sudden she just stops crying for a little bit. And it's like, oh Mom, that's where you've been. Nice to see you. And then she starts crying again, and I feed her. But it's just, that moment for me was like, even the little things, today is a gift. And, you know, as a 27-year-old, you kind of think of heart disease as something that older people go through. And so I was very fortunate that I got referred to the American Heart Association as just a way to like help get that support. So I remember the first time I told my story, it was in front of a circle of red, and the women at that night were so supportive, and it locked me in. It was the comfort I needed to help not only me heal, but to help others heal, and that's why I like to share my story.
And she just said, hey, Reegan's, fell down at track practice and she isn't doing good and you should come get her.
It's when they loaded her into the helicopter that it was really like, wow, this is like a big deal. Like, my sister could die.
It's your baby, and it's still scary to know that something could very seriously be wrong.